welcome back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie, and we're continuing our series of read-alikes. And this week, we've got Riley Sager's The Only One Left. I read this book. I love this book. So we've got some read-alikes for that. Mine are actually pretty new thrillers. Jill's got some mix of some older thrillers. So turn it to Jill for her first pick.
So my first pick is The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. One night, Mia Dennett enters a bar to meet her on-again, off-again boyfriend, but when he doesn't show, she unwisely leaves with an enigmatic stranger. At first, Colin Thatcher seems like a safe one-night stand, but following Colin home will turn out to be the worst mistake of Mia's life. When Colin decides to hide Mia in a secluded cabin in rural Minnesota instead of delivering her to his employers, Mia's mother, Eve, and Detective Gabe Hoffman will stop at nothing to find them, but no one could have predicted the emotional entanglements that eventually caused the family's world to shatter. So this was published in 2014. It's probably one of Mary Kubica's best books, but she has a lot of thrillers too. So if you're a fan of Riley Sager, you might like her too. So, The Good Girl.
My first pick is a book from our new shelves right now, and this is Sherry Lapina's Everyone Here is Lying, and this was just published in July of this year. Welcome to Stanhope, a safe neighborhood, a place for families. William Wooler is a family man on the surface, but he's been having an affair that ended horribly this afternoon at a motel up the road. So when he returns to his house, devastated and angry, to find his difficult 9-year-old daughter Ella unexpectedly home from school, he loses his temper. Hours later, Ella's family declares her missing. Suddenly, Stanhope doesn't feel so safe, and William isn't the only one on his street who's hiding a lie. As witnesses come forward with information that may or may not be true, Ella's neighbors become increasingly unhinged. Who took Ella Wooler? Nothing will prepare you for the truth. So this sounds like a good thriller. This is actually on my list to be read. So Sherry Lapina's Everyone Here is Lying.
She also has a lot of good thrillers.
Yeah, she does.
So I think the Riley Sager book is kind of similar to Agatha Christie's, what's the name of that one? One of Agatha Christie's where there's a bunch of people at a party and there's, only one left. So this is kind of similar to that theme. Lucy Foley, The Guest List. This was published in 2020, and it's pretty cool. A wedding celebration turns dark and deadly in this deliciously wicked and atmospheric thriller reminiscent of Agatha Christie from the New York Times best-selling author The Hunting Parties. Lucy Foley read The Hunting Party. The Bride Plus One, The Best Man, The Wedding Planner, The Bridesmaids, The Body. On an island off the coast of Ireland, guests gather to celebrate two people joining their lives together as one. The groom, handsome and charming, a rising television star. The bride, smart and ambitious, a magazine publisher. It's a wedding for a magazine and for a celebrity. The designer dress, the remote location, the luxe party favors, the boutique whiskey. The cell phone service may be spotty and the waves may be rough, but every detail has been expertly planned and will be expertly executed. But perfection is for plans, and people are too human. As the champagne is popped and the festivities begin, resentments and petty jealousies begin to mingle with the reminiscence and well wishes. The groomsmen begin the drinking game of their school days. The bridesmaid not so accidentally ruins her dress. The bride's oldest male friend gives an uncomfortably caring toast, and then someone turns up dead. Who didn't wish the happy couple well? And perhaps more important, why?
Listen to that one as an audio. Tim and I both did, and since we've been to Ireland, that was really fun to listen to that and listen to the dialects and stuff. So that was a good thriller to listen to as an audio. My next one, also a popular author here at our library, Lisa Jewell. And this one is None of This Is True. So I go from Everyone is Lying to None of This is True. This also was published in July of this year. Celebrating her 45th birthday at her local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summers crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are, in fact, birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She is, she tells Alex, on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep making the podcast. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie has been hiding some very dark secrets. And before she knows it, Josie has inveigled her way into Alex's life and into her home. But as quickly as she arrived, Josie disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast.
Ooh.
Who is this Josie Fair, and what has she done? Have to read the book to find out. None of this is true by Linda Jewell.
I have that one on my list. So this next one, I think this is kind of a newer author that people have been enjoying a lot. This is Anthony Horowitz, The Sentence is Death. This is the second one in the series. The first one is The Word is Murder, but we had this one on our shelf, so I decided to go with this one. And kind of the fun thing about this is the author tends to like break the fourth wall and write himself into the story, so that's kind of fun. You shouldn't be here. It's too late. Excuse me. These heard over the phone were the last recorded words of a successful celebrity divorce lawyer, Richard Price, found bludgeoned to death in his bachelor pad with a bottle of wine. A 1982 Chateau Lafite worth £3,000, whatever, to be precise. Odd considering he didn't drink. Why this bottle? And why those words? And why was a 3-digit number painted on the wall by the killer? And most importantly, which of the man's many, many enemies did the deed? Baffled, the police are forced to bring in private investigator Daniel Hawthorne and his sidekick, the author Anthony, who's really getting good at this murder investigation business. So I think Anthony also appears in his first book as well.
That is kind of a cool twist to put into the story.
It's so different. But as Hawthorne takes on the case with a characteristic relish, it becomes clear that he too has secrets to hide. As our reluctant narrator becomes even more embroiled in the case, he realizes that these secrets must be exposed, even at the risk of death. So, The Sentenced is Murder by Anthony Horowitz.
My next pick is an author that I don't really read. This is Robin Harding. I don't know, do you read her?
No, I don't.
And this came up on the list of read-alikes, and this is The Drowning Woman, and this was published in June of this year. It's a deliciously twisted story of friendship, retribution, and betrayal about a homeless woman fleeing a dangerous past, and the wealthy society wife who she saves from drowning, who pulls her into a dark web of secrets and lies. Lee Gulliver never thought she'd find herself on the streets. No one really ever does. But when her restaurant fails and she falls deeper into debt, she leaves her old life behind with nothing but her clothes and her Toyota Corolla. In Seattle, she parks in a secluded spot by the beach just to lay low and plan her next move, until early one morning she sees a sobbing woman throw herself into the ocean. Lee hauls the woman back to the surface, but instead of appreciation, she's met with fury. The drowning woman, named Hazel, tells her that she wanted to die, that she's trapped in a toxic, abusive marriage, that she's a prisoner in her own home, and Lee has thwarted her one chance to escape her life. Out of options, Hazel retreats to her gilded cage, and Lee thinks she's seen the last of her, until her unexpected return the next morning. Bonded by disparate but difficult circumstances, the women soon strike up a close and an unlikely friendship. And then one day, Hazel makes a shocking request. She wants Lee to help her disappear. It'll be easy, Hazel assures her, but Lee soon learns that nothing is as it seems, and that Hazel may not be the friend Lee thought she was.
Ooh.
So, another twisty one, The Drowning Woman.
Yeah, well, Riley Sager likes those twists, so of course our choices will have twists in them. Okay, so this is a young adult novel. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. And I think there is a Netflix movie by the same title that I think is based on this book. Love hurts. Makani Young thought she left her dark past behind her in Hawaii, settling in with her grandmother in a landlocked Nebraska. She's found new friends and has even started to fall for a mysterious outsider, Ollie Larson. But her past isn't far behind. Then one by one, the students at Osborne Hugh begin to die in a series of gruesome murders, each with increasingly grotesque flair. As the terror grows closer and her feelings for Ollie intensify, Makani is forced to confront her own dark secrets. So, this was published in 2017. Someone Inside Your House, and by Stephanie Perkins, who I also an author I haven't heard of, but one to check out.
You said YA collection, huh?
YA.
Okay.
Murders happen there too.
My next book is by an author I've read quite a few of, and this is Alice Feeney, and this is published in August of this year, and this is Good, Bad Girl. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, so good people have to do bad things. Alice Feeney returns with another thrilling mystery filled with drama and her trademark surprises. 20 years after a baby is stolen from a stroller, a woman is murdered in a care home. The two crimes are somehow linked, and a good, bad girl may be the key to discovering the truth. Edith may have been tricked into a nursing home, but at 80 years young, she's planning her escape. Patience works there, cleaning messes and bonding with Edith, a kindred spirit. But Patience is lying to Edith about almost everything. More lies! Edith's own daughter, Cleo, won't speak to her, and someone new is about to knock on Cleo's door, and their intentions aren't good. With every reason to distrust each other, the women must solve a mystery with 3 suspects, 2 murders, and 1 victim. If they do, they just might find out what happened to the baby who disappeared, the mother who lost her, and the connections that bind them. So if you liked Daisy Darker, Rock, Paper, Scissors, this is another thriller where nobody can be trusted and the twists come at you fast and furious. So I love Daisy Darker.
Yeah.
I read Rock, Paper, Scissors too. Didn't like that as much as Daisy Darker. But again, Alice Feeney, another good thriller author.
I'm a big fan of hers too. So this next one is another newer author that I hadn't heard of, and I think this was published in 2022. Everyone in my family has killed someone. This is the first, called Ernest Cunningham #1. So I don't know if he hasn't written another one yet, but he might be. But anyways, this is by Benjamin Stevenson. Everyone in my family has killed someone. Some of us, the high achievers, have killed more than once. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it is the truth. Some of us are good, others are bad, and some just unfortunate. I'm Ernest Cunningham. Call me Erna Ernie. I wish I'd killed whoever decided our family reunion should be at a ski resort, but it's a little more complicated than that. Have I killed someone? Yes, I have. Who was it? Let's get started. Everyone in my family has killed someone. My brother, my sister, my wife, my father, my mother, my sister-in-law, my uncle, my stepfather, my aunt, me. So this is another one kind of like the same thing where they all go to like this one ski resort for this family reunion and somebody winds up dead.
I listened to that audiobook too. That was good. That was cute.
Super fun.
Mm-hmm. My last pick, another popular author here. Jill and I both like her books. This is Ruth Ware, and this is 0 Days, and this was published in June of this year. And she returns with an adrenaline-fueled thriller about a woman in a race against time to clear her name and find her husband's murderer. Hired by companies to break into buildings and hack security systems, Jack and her husband Gabe are the best penetration specialists in the business. But after a routine assignment goes horribly wrong, Jack arrives home to find her husband dead. To add to her horror, the police are closing in on their suspect, and it's her. Suddenly on the run and quickly running out of options, Jack must decide who she can trust as she circles closer to the real killer. So, 0 Days, she's always a good suspense writer.
Yes,
so
she is.
I liked
She's
The
got
It
some
Girl,
good
The
stuff.
Woman in Cabin 10, a lot of her books. So,
Well, we hope we helped you find something to read. If you are a big fan of Riley Sager and you loved his latest books, then we have some other things that you can read that might satisfy that urge for the murder.
yeah, so otherwise check out his if you haven't read
If
it.
you haven't read it yet.
The only one left. Thanks for watching our videos. You know you find us on our Kimberly Public Library website, Facebook page. And we haven't had a lot of comments lately about what you're reading. Maybe you're busy at the holidays, but we love to hear what you're reading or what genres you like. So like, comment, share. Love to hear from you. Till next time, we thank you for watching.
Bye.